Hi, I promised that I would do a video about an update about the situation in my country. So, since the last time I filmed a video, a lot of stuff have happened. Basically, somebody, a famous Romanian political critic was asked in a TV show about politics. He was asked about sexual education in schools. So in just under 5 minutes, this guy managed and succeeded to blow up an entire country as if it wasn't already blown up. Essentially, he began pretty well. He said that in his opinion, we need it. And in fact, he believes that our young are already educated, quote unquote, by pornography, the dark net, some other things I don't want to reproduce here. And he said that kids come to school with an already formed opinion, and it's not necessarily the healthiest one. And in his opinion, kids need sexual therapy, not sexual education. Secondly, he added that he was encouraging all the sexual educators to inform young girls who masturbate on their clitoris that if they do this, their sexual center on the brain is going to be affected and they will not be able to enjoy their sex lives with their male counterparts. Boy, that blew up the country. As you can imagine, a lot of people in the press started making fun of this guy. No joke. This ex-person is also a knowledgeable person on masturbation, and he's giving young girls a recommendation on how to masturbate and how not to do that. Women, feminists, and so on jumped, sky high. What is this man doing telling young girls how to masturbate, and what is that with your brain being affected about masturbation? Other women saying, all women's orgasms are clitoral because the clitoris actually spans inside. It's not just a little bump that we know on the outside. It's a much larger structure than we know, and it reaches our vagina. And a lot of other things. Women recommending other books, women making fun of this guy. So there were a lot of photos being shared with women like obsessively pushing on buttons and so on. So it was pretty intense. So this happened Friday evening, and I wasn't aware of that. I was super tired. I crashed early Friday evening. I was, not watching political shows at the time. But after I woke up and I filmed my video, I came back home to find a message from a journalist asking me to be part of an article to respond to this guy and give my, not just woman's opinion, but my sexuality coach's opinion. So he then responded to that article as well, and he tried to explain a little better what he intended to say, but this guy is he's old. He's in his 60s now, I think. Or close to in his 60s. And he's got this entire style of speaking, which is rather loud. I mean, he's thin. He's a pretty thin old guy, but he's speaking loud. He's very sarcastic or ironic or very forceful in his speeches, very critical, also slightly acidic sometimes. I mean, it works well in politics, but when you're talking about sexuality and when you're an old guy speaking about young girls masturbating, that it doesn't sit well. It really doesn't sit well. So he's well appreciated here. I mean, a lot of people were shocked. Like, this guy is super intelligent, super capable. How the heck could he say on national television such an enormous stupidity? Anyway, he did have a point, but his way of expressing it was extremely unfortunate. So as I watched that, and I shared it on my Facebook, because I have a lot of Romanians following me on my Facebook account, so I shared mainly there. I was yeah, it was intense. Let's just say that. And a lot of other things. So a lot of other people reacting intensely to sexual education. A lot of people that just refuse communication. I mean, if you have a different opinion to theirs, then what's there to talk about? I mean, you're either with me or you don't exist. And I feel that is really not helping anybody, but you know, that's everybody's choice. So in all of this craziness, I tried to really stay grounded and really keep my energy also in the right place, because all of these things consume a lot of energy. And I've been doing a lot of efforts to stick to my, not just my fitness practice, but also to my jade egg practice and my self-pleasuring practice. And I have to say that in the past few weeks, with all the craziness about sexual education, it's been super hard for me to stay present and find my pleasure and so on. So these things, it's really hard to not be affected, you know, when you're living in the midst of them. And I'm also working with a client, and I had a beautiful session earlier, and I'm super happy that, you know, it's few people for now, but those few people that take care of their sexuality and really educate themselves, work on themselves, stuff happen in the positive spectrum. Transformation, realizations, awareness, opening of their sexuality and of themselves. So so in all this craziness, which I tried to use humor, we have a lot of it here in our country, but it's not always the healthiest one. I did try to stay amused, at least, so that it didn't affect me too much. And I'm also slowly getting back to my usual normal physical meditations, working out, jade egg, self-pleasuring, so all of it, which do require a really healthy space and a positive space, and I don't always have it. And yeah, so that's what's been going on, especially with me. That's where my energy has been going, and I am at least happy that I'm starting to get back to my old routines and get back to my old centered self when it comes to sexuality. So that is a huge success, especially when all these crazy things are happening. So I'm slowly going to get back to my normal posts and videos, but I did want to share this with you and also encourage you to stay grounded and stay connected to whatever keeps you in pleasure, in relaxation, in arousal, why not? Whether it's intellectual arousal, emotional arousal, or even physical arousal. So yeah, I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I hope that you have a beautiful week. And I will see you with much, much juicier posts and videos. Ciao.